Welcome back, YouTube. I'm trying to get another video out here quickly, just to kind of make up for all the time I spent gone and lack of videos from GoPro issues. So this picks up last night, right after I posted that other video. Couldn't help myself once the spar was done and in the wing stand. I decided go ahead and start hanging skins on it because that is the next task, and I just wanted to see what it looked like. So this is me putting the top skins on. So for orientation, that wing stand you're looking at is the right wing. The side facing you is the top. So the inboard is to your left and outboard is to the right. The left wing, towards the end of this video, I'll bolt those stands down, are going to be on the back side of this. Same orientation, just mirrored, so the top will be facing out. The bottom of the wing will be facing in. And yeah. So now I'm just getting those on and putting Clecos in. And you can see I've got a stabilizer jack, some cheap set that I managed to find on Amazon, and a block of wood. I'm going to use that to support the center. Something I learned early on with it, though, is until you've got a lot of the skin in, when you put any real pressure on that middle to try and help bring it up, it just causes the middle rib to bend in all kinds of ways, because without anything attached to it, it's just flexible. So I left it fairly loose until I got the skins Clecoed on and helping to align and hold everything in place. That pneumatic Cleco tool is definitely coming in handy for putting all of these in. I didn't count. I know it's a lot. We'll get evidence of that here when this video changes over to the other side, which is this morning. So I'm planning to leave the blue plastic on the wing skins at least until they're ready to come out and get dimpled. For now, it's not a big deal. There you can see me trying to put the wing walk doubler in. They are the exact same part for both sides. It's just you got to figure out what the orientation is going to be to make it work on the side you're on. The plans and the directions don't really call it out. In fact, the directions don't even call it out by part number. It just tells you put the wing skins on by part number, and then it tells you, oh, and don't forget the doubler. Doesn't even tell you what part it is. So it just goes with the methodology. The further you get into the directions, the less specific they get, which I get it. At this point, you should have a good idea of how to do some things, but it sure would be nice if they'd give the same detail in the directions throughout the entire kit that they do with the empennage, because some of us need the extra help. So now that that's on, I just adjusted the jack a little bit, take up some of the weight, and some finished pictures. That's the top skin all Clecoed on. There you can see it from the back side. And now we're on to the next, which is this morning, digging out the bottom skins. Here's another small complaint. When they put all of these skins together for the tail, the wings, they stack the sheet metal together. It's all got plastic on it. Even those ones that look like bare aluminum, they do have clear vinyl on them. But they hold them together with Gorilla Tape instead of an easier to peel off tape like masking tape. And there's really no good way to get that Gorilla Tape off without ripping most of the vinyl off, or a good chunk of it off with it. It's really kind of a pain in the ass. So I had to get all of that off, separate the sheets. And now you're looking at the bottom of the right wing. I was very happy to see the inspection holes all lined up with the nut plates I already put on the spar. It's a good reassurance that I did it right. And now it's just kind of more of what you saw on the other side. Putting in hundreds of Clecos. You can see I've already expended what I had in my little bucket. Now I've gone to the big bucket of Clecos. When I started this, I knew I was going to try and build both wings at the same time, so I took everybody's suggestions, and I think I have roughly 500 3/32 silver Clecos. And I'm real positive now that I could not do the top and bottom skins on both wings with the amount of Clecos I have. Because by the time I get done doing this, I've used everything in my smaller bucket and I've used a good chunk out of the big bucket. So I guess it's a good thing I'm getting a head start on the right wing. The bottom skins, after they get final drilled, come back off and they pretty much stay off. The top skins stay on for a while. So I think I'll have enough Clecos to do the other wing and get it to the same state and still have enough left laying around to be able to do things like leading edges and tanks. But we'll see. I may end up having to buy more, which is just insane to think of, but I guess you can never have too many Clecos. Spacing, if anybody's wondering, the plans do tell you roughly every fourth hole. Doesn't always work out, so you just get it as approximate as you can. You want everything as tied down as you can without shifting around on you. It also tells you to start in the middle of the panel and kind of work your way out. And I don't know if it's easy to tell or not, but some of those I'm using a small straight pick to just help pull the holes into alignment so I can get the Clecos in place. And now it's on to final drilling. So I have the pneumatic drill set up with the number 40 reamer in it. And it's just reaming out hundreds and hundreds of holes. And no, I did not bother to count. I'm pretty sure I don't want to know. But it went fairly quick. And I'm not going to make you sit through all of them. We'll cut some of this here in just a minute. So far the reamer seems to be holding up well. I'm not sure if it's going to get dull before I'm done or not, but we'll see. Now I've got my blue Sharpie out and I'm determined I'm not going to miss any holes this time, so I am marking everywhere I have a Cleco, so when I move it here in just a little bit, I'll know exactly which ones I need to go back and final drill. Because it's really hard just looking at the holes to tell if you drilled them out or not, and since it's every fourth hole and they don't all just move one over depending on where they're at, I figured this was an easier way to know for sure. And it only took a couple extra minutes. So, yeah, bearing you the brunt of it there, I went and moved all of the Clecos. And now I'm going through and finishing drilling out all the rest of the holes. Figure I get the T-square out there, or the speed square out, and I'm just marking a straight line where the center of the hole for the tie down is going to be. That way it'll transfer over to the leading edge later. I still got to do the same thing on the bottom. But at this point, I decided before I get any further, since the left spar is on its way, I would go ahead and get the left wing stands bolted to the floor. And I didn't really show you guys this process on the first one, so I figured I'd leave the camera rolling and film this one. So right now I am just squaring them up. I measured out spacing. I've gone back and forth whether I wanted them to be 3 feet apart or more. After I saw how much room I still have, I decided to go with 4 feet between the posts in the middle. That leaves me roughly 5, almost 6 feet on this side of the wing between the workbench, and then from the left wing to that other workbench it'll be about 4.5 feet with 4 feet in the middle. So I should have really good spacing to get all around the wings and get through there with whatever I want. It'll also allow a lot extra light to come through. Now I got my little stencil marker out and happy with where they're at, marking the holes, getting the hammer drill and a 5/8 bit, and I'm using 1/2-13 bolts and anchors to bolt this to the floor. And the anchors I'm using, I think they're called Seiko inserts. They drop in, you use a hammer to tap them flush where you want them, and then there's a special punch that goes down through the threads and it expands the bottom part and makes it grip into the hole. And you can see me using that punch right there. So all you gotta do is drill the holes, clean them out. You see I got a little bore brush just to make sure all the loose stuff is off the walls so it gets a good grip. Put them in, grab the hardware, and then I'm gonna grab my mag level. And that one was dead on level, so I didn't have to put any shims in. A few of these posts, the steel plate kind of cupped a little bit from all the heat when I welded it up, so on the right wing there's some shims to keep them straight and level. In the end, it probably doesn't really matter that they're that level because the wing is somewhat self-aligning. These are just there for it to hang off of, but I figured going to the trouble to do all of this, might as well make them straight. So, same process on the inboard side. And once I'm all done with these and I don't need the wing stands anymore, like I've said before, I'm just going to unbolt them. Probably donate them to the EA chapter or something like that for other people to use. The holes that are in the floor, though, I'll fill them back in with grub screws so they sit flush, and then I'll probably cover that with some epoxy, or, well, not epoxy, I'll probably cover it up with some silicone. That way if I ever want or need to use the mounting points for anything in the future, they're there, but they're covered up. And they are solid and secure. I could hang a whole bunch of weight off of that thing and never bend it. Way more than what I need for the wings. So that's it. They're both installed. I just got to throw the angle stuff together, the mounting brackets and all thread, and that set of stands will be ready. But you can see I got a decent amount of room in there. Got a new space to hang my level, and that's it. See you on the next one.